Alabama's Morning News. I'm JT. Well, we saw what happened with Bud Light, and was it Dylan Mulvaney? Was that who that was? And that just kind of blew the whole Bud Light thing out of the water when Dylan Mulvaney, apparently, as a transgender, was supporting Bud Light, and it went viral, and Bud Light's like, ooh, what do we do here? Backfired on him. Joining us now to talk a little bit more about whether or not you ought to go, full out with your policies or who you endorse as a company. Scott Baradell here is an expert on branding and trust and heads up Idea Groove. Hey, Scott, welcome in. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So, this survey that came out says people, more than half in the survey really care very little, to not at all about a brand's political affiliation. Does it matter?
Well, it definitely matters. If a brand decides to be political, it better know its audience really well. You mentioned Bud Light, what a lot of people don't realize. And of course, that Bud Light has never and may never recover from, kind of aligning with a trans activist that had met with Joe Biden. And clearly there was political ramifications to that partnership with Bud Light. Mm-hmm. It turned off its customer base big time. That they didn't know its customer base. But what a lot of people don't know is that same month, Dylan Mulvaney did a promotion with Nike for sports bras. No one said anything about Nike because Nike has a different customer base. Nike aligned with Colin Kaepernick. Different brands have different customer bases, and sometimes that reflects, the politics of that customer base.
But if you're the CEO of a company and you're just a flat out, I'm voting blue no matter who type of person, and you want that to trickle down into what you stand for as a company, somewhere, somehow, you would think the board of directors would go, hey, psst, come here. You can't be doing that. Half of our audience here, even 25% of our audience, is completely opposed to your position on where you're putting this product. So don't do it. You're going to cost us millions of dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and you've seen investors at public companies increasingly deliver that message because you've got a lot of very arrogant CEOs, CMOs, chief marketing officers of big companies. That's arrogance was what caused the Bud Light issue. Bud Light didn't do any research into their customer base. Their CMO just thought it would be the right thing to do, according to her point of view. You don't make multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar decisions based on one executive's whim.
Right. Yeah, and a couple of people lost their jobs in that whole scenario now.
Absolutely, she did. Yeah.
So your message to any company that's out there, stay out of politics, stay in your lane, right?
Stay out of politics unless you've done enough customer research that your customers will support it. I mean, look, you've got businesses like, the Daily Wire, the conservative media site. Mm-hmm. They sell, I think about 15% of the revenues come from very politically aligned products.
Right.
Because they know their customer. That's an extreme example, but there are a lot of other products. Look at the My Pillow guy, look at Hobby Lobby. There are brands that there's an alignment between the politics of the brand and who the bulk of their customer base is. Right. And to build a stronger bond with that core customer base, they're willing to maybe turn a few people off that don't represent the mainstream of their customers.
Where do you draw the line? 90% on board with your thoughts? 80%? I mean, if it's 50-50, you'd certainly want to stay away from it.
Well, you've got to, it's like Nike did extensive research before doing a big campaign a few years ago with Colin Kaepernick. And, what you're looking at is, yes, and there were people that burned their sneakers on Twitter and all that. But obviously they looked at how much more it would increase sales among their core customers. And on balance, the increased sales among the people that would be aligned with this and inspired by it exceeded the loss of people who were turned off by it. But if you're not able to do that extensive research, just stay out of politics. So you can still have value. You can have values. Like, let's say you, maybe your CEO is all into climate change. Don't talk about climate change. But if you just talk about sustainability, conservationism, 99% of America will be on your side. You can find ways to show values without stepping on these hot buttons.
Well, Target, you remember what happened with them? They jumped out there with all the merchandise out there front and center, and all of a sudden they got blowback, and they changed it and took it away and moved it, out of sight.
They did.
They learned the lesson there too. So I appreciate you this morning. Thank you so much for your insight. Good stuff right there.